Hello there, my darlings. How are you doing? I hope you are well this morning. My name is Rabbit, and welcome to episode number 26 of Let's Play Through Lufia and the Fortress of Doom on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. In our previous episode, we bebopped around the town of Belgium and spoke with quite a few of the locals who revealed to us that a lovely young lady named Jaren was given up for ransom, and one of her childhood friends did request that we go and speak with her brother, who's guarding some key to a dais or dais, which, haha, you guys, I actually did what I promised, and I did look up the definition of that word as well as how you're supposed to pronounce it, but I'll share that with you here in just a moment. So the long story short for our recap is we were told that in order to save Jaren, we needed to go and get a key to a dais, and then we can go and set her free. So that is what we are going to do, because who are we to not take up the request of a lovely young maiden to save another lovely young maiden? So that is what we are going to kickstart this episode with doing. So let's run over here to the southwest corner, and oh my gosh, we didn't get into one encounter. That's a little surprising. I guess the enemies are not really feeling me right now, which works for me because I'm not feeling any of their nonsense either. So we will just run on down here, and honestly, I don't fully remember the layout of this dungeon, but I do know I don't want to go that way is one thing that I do know for sure. So let's head down here and check this left lower room, and oops, wrong button. Okay. So Kenzo found a high potion, always a nice little pick-me up there. So as for Dais or Dais, I did check Merriam-Webster, and it looks like, hold on, let me grab my smoke ball and my float. It does look like you can pronounce it either Dais or Dais, so I wasn't totally full of crap when I was like, I don't know how you say this. I'm going to pronounce it both ways, and oh my goodness, ambushed. But these are old foes, so we don't have anything to worry about, and hey, maybe they'll be nice and drop some more handy-dandy armor for us. Not that we need it. The light armor, I think is what it's called. We can just sell any extras that we pick up, so it will be fine either way. But anyway, so you can pronounce it either Dais or Dais, and it turns out that it is specifically a raised platform, typically, I guess, in relationship to a hall, or I guess it's used in the context of like a throne being on it or some sort of seat of honor. So yeah, very interesting, and that will all make sense when we actually see what the dais is in terms of the game and gameplay. But you know, I wanted to look that up just because, well, let me see. Let's just see what these I don't know if I really want to go this way or if it would be better. Yeah, you know what? Let's take this little path here and float on across, and it should be fine. All right, they were easy peasy. They kind of are old foes though, so I think we're gonna get through here without too much wear and tear on the team. Oh my goodness, if they will leave us alone, that is. But anyway, the reason why I was so interested in actually looking that up, and I think I've shared this story or similar stories in the past, either maybe within this LP, but certainly I've shared this in other journeys that you may have undertaken with me, that I've always been such a big gamer, and one of the reasons why I love a lot of these retro RPGs, part of it is nostalgia, because I grew up playing video games. You guys know my dad was a huge techie, and we had consoles as far back as I can remember. Some of my earliest memories of being like a 4-year-old involved playing on a few of our old Atari systems, as well as our Nintendo Entertainment System and all of that good stuff. But the point being that I credit video games for my advanced vocabulary when I was a young child. Okay, can I get these controls under control? That would be great. And woohoo, an escape. Always a nice little find there. But I had a relatively robust vocabulary very early on. I still remember, even in like the 3rd grade-ish, having teachers always say things like, how do you know what this means? Or, wow, what an interesting word for you to choose to use in the context of whatever conversation we were having, or in early essays and things like that. So, you know what I'm going to actually do? Lufia, let's not be too fancy. It's not necessary at all. We'll do a flash in the beetle, and we'll slice and dice these poison rats. So anyway, things like Dais or Dais, I don't know why I never really cemented that one in my mind, because after looking it up, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense within the context of what you're going to see in the game as we're moving through this quest to save Jaren. But I remember as a kid, especially playing games like, a poison pin, that is definitely a nice little pickup there. Especially playing games like Star Ocean: The Second Story, a lot of things that you could craft or create in that game had interesting descriptions. So there would be words that you would be exposed to that you normally wouldn't encounter, and I would often look them up, or I would just figure out what the word meant. Again, in the context, we got a power potion and a spell potion. In the context of however it was being used in the game. So I always thought that was kind of cool about video games. I'm really fortunate to have grown up with a family that embraced gaming and didn't view it as like, the young kids wasting their time, or worrying about the violence negatively influencing our development or anything like that. And there is a miracle. I'm glad I went ahead and checked that. So I think that was pretty amazing. You know, we'll go ahead and just leave us in. These guys fall pretty quickly. So anyway, that's why I wanted to look up Dais or Dais, just as a throwback to my youth or childhood, I suppose. And I'm not sure how many of you have had similar experiences where just playing through a game, you learned like random technical things. So again, using Star Ocean: The Second Story as an example, I learned the names of various gems, and oh my gosh, that killer bee, that hardly looks like a bee. That looks more like a dragonfly type of creature. That's what I would call it. But anyway, who cares what I would call it? It's not like I was involved in the creation of the game or the translation, so nobody cares what I think. And poison, no! I think I've got a couple antidotes, hopefully, anyway. So we'll check that out as soon as this fight concludes. And there's a poison pin. We'll have to make use of these with some of the enemies we encounter later on. Or can I oh yeah, we've got poison, which cures poison. We talked about this, that very horrible, horrible name for this spell, since it's technically an antidote. I don't understand that at all, but it's okay. We'll roll with the punches. And I guess I should have stayed, and we'll use float again. Sorry, Kenzo, I'm using up all of his magic just so I can preserve Lufia's, since she's the one primarily dishing out our offensive spells as we're navigating these encounters. But anyway, circling back to wrap up my story about vocabulary in video games, I'm so grateful that I shouldn't say parents as in plural, because I don't know that my mom was necessarily supportive of our big techie and big gaming lifestyle, I suppose. Pardon me. I don't know if she was really supportive of that lifestyle, but she did not impede our ability to sit down. These mudmen gotta go. She never really actively encouraged us to play games, but she never was really an obstacle or a barrier to us participating in those activities, especially as a family. And it really was such a huge, huge, huge thing for us, kind of just to, well, I know for me and my siblings anyway, it was a great way to kind of escape some of the stuff going on with my mom in particular. But more importantly, it was used as a way for us to just all engage positively and regroup at the end of a busy day, or as a reward after doing all of your homework. So for us, gaming was a very positive experience. It wasn't anything negative, and it wasn't anything that our parents made us feel bad about. My dad in particular gamed with us oftentimes, and it was just a wonderful way for us to just discuss things and spend quality time together, is I guess really what I'm trying to say. I will always treasure those really positive and just generally delightful times and moments where, you know, my dad would get home from work and we were done with school, and we would all just kind of sit down together and play through a game and take turns grinding for gold or XP to buy something, or one person would be responsible for drawing the map of the dungeon while the other person's walking around, and it was just always so much fun. As a family, we played through quite a few JRPGs together, and we would often discuss the stories or the characters, and Anyway, it was great. Instead of watching a lot of movies, we played a lot of video games, which I guess is a little different, and I've been told by quite a few people, maybe kind of odd. Most of my friends grew up watching a whole bunch of Disney movies with their families, or their parents would put on films and then kind of leave them to their own devices. My dad would sit and play games with us, and it was always a great time. Now, okay, I've not been paying attention. I guess, maybe... Should we go? I'm a little nervous. You know what? Let me check. I'll do a float here. I don't think I missed anything on that last floor. Oh, we got a scimitar. Awesome. But I also was not paying attention because I was too busy reminiscing. So, my bad. I think the scimitar is old news. Yeah, we can already see we've got one on both of our fellas. So, more selling fodder. That's great. Actually, I'm a little nervous. Let me run back over here and just take a glance at that previous floor. It's funny how something as small as just seeing a word that you're loosely familiar with but you don't fully know could bring back a memory like what I've just shared with you guys. I feel like hidden memory unlocked, although it wasn't really that hidden because I've talked about this a few times, but still something super pleasant for me and something that I treasure, and I just thought I'd share with all of you. So hopefully someday when I have my own kiddos, I really look forward to engaging with them in a similar way where instead of just putting on a movie and leaving my kids to watch the movie, we can watch it and talk about it together. Or for me, more so than even film. I'm not a big movie watcher. I think I've shared that with you guys too. I like to be engaged a little bit more. I find books and video games to be more interactive for me, where I'm actively either utilizing my imagination, so in the context of a book, I guess more so, but I can, be imagining the voices of the characters or envisioning the areas where they're running around. And in a game, you're actually controlling the characters. So let's go up. We'll just kind of work our way around. I don't know which way we need to go, but we're going to start up here and just see where this lands us. I feel like movies are a little... I can't engage with it as actively as I need to. I need more stimulation, I think, than films traditionally and historically have given me. And, we got a revive and also a fly ring. I'm not going to worry about equipping anything quite yet. I don't think we need the fly ring, and honestly, we'll be fine if we have to sell it. All right, more critters dead. Ooh, and Lufia is really close to getting her next level, so that will be nice. We will allow ourselves to get into another fight, and then maybe I'll use a Sweetwater just so that we can really get through this. I don't want to be fighting these guys all darn day. But yeah, anyway, long story short being, I'm not one of those people that's like anti-film, or I think it promotes being docile or inactive. I'm not one of those people who really cares what other people choose to do as a way of engaging themselves or entertaining themselves or unwinding. But for me, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to choose a video game or a book over watching a film. But okay, Lufia got a level, woohoo, 8 HP, 8 MP, 1 strength, 1 int, 2 magic resistance. That was actually a nice little upgrade for her. I'm pretty stoked about that, Lufia, and I am so sorry, girlfriend, but I'm actually going to use stronger... Oh, no, I'm not. For some reason, I was thinking it was an AoE heal, but it is not. I'll go through and just heal up everyone, and then we'll actually... I think I've got some extra sweet waters. Let me see. We've got a few. Let's just use it and pray that it works. Kind of a little over the monsters messing with me. We got a level out of it. We've gotten some good item drops. I'd kind of like to at least get over here to this left-hand side without having to deal with their crap. Oh my gosh. Well, at least we got to take a couple of steps, so I won't complain. Thinking about it, I'm not sure I've ever asked you guys, do you have a preferred means of entertaining yourself or your family, for those of you that have kids? Do you guys play video games with your kiddos? Do you, let them kind of play them by themselves and you play your own games, or is it an interactive experience for you guys? I'm just kind of curious what other people do, because I really think for me that was such a solid way of socializing positively with my family developing more meaningful relationships with various family members, just engaging positively, I think, in general with one another, and also learning things because, no voice acting, so, you had to, again, use your imagination to a certain extent. You had to be able to solve puzzles because some of the games, especially the older school ones, really did not hold your hand and tell you what you needed to do, where you needed to go. You had to synthesize information and really connect the dots to progress in the game. And it taught a lot of patience, because some of the encounter rates, some of the stuff you had to deal with, it was admittedly obnoxious. And I think even as an adult, I don't know if I would say I have the same level of patience that I might have had as a child. So I think it was really good for promoting a lot of positive qualities, a lot of positive traits, and allowing both social and mental or emotional development as you could relate to characters, relate to their plight, learning empathy. Anyway, I think video games are incredible for teaching a lot of things. But obviously, books are really great for a lot of the same things that I'm crediting games for, and film can be wonderful for promoting development of a lot of those things as well. So just for those of you that have kids, do you or are you planning on using film or video games or books as an interactive tool for engaging your children, or a way of teaching your kids, or just entertaining them even? I guess it doesn't have to always be something that you're plotting and planning and scheming like, okay, I really want to read through all these books with the sole focus of building their vocabulary. Maybe it's just a way to increase their appreciation for creative works, getting them exposed to different ways of thinking if you're reading more complicated or complex types of stories. So I'm just curious what you guys think you would do. I will say my dad read a lot to us as well growing up. I remember every single evening, or most evenings, bless his heart, he was such an amazing dad. He would be so tired, and he would often fall asleep on the floor while he was reading to us, but it was almost an every night routine where he would come in and read something to us while we were all in bed. He was a really, really good dad. I miss him every single day. He was just the best. But brown armor, brown helm, and a brown shield. I don't know if these are better than what we've got. I know we saw some stuff in town. Let me see. Yeah, the brown armor is not better than the light armor that we have picked up here. Let's look at the brown helm on you. You've already got a brown helm, so who doesn't have a brown helm? Is this better for you than a Guro? The wood helm. Okay, so the brown helm needs to go to a Guro because we already have one on Kenzo. I'm a little ahead of myself. Sometimes I buy things that we end up finding later. It's too hard for me to keep track for sure. And then we got what? A brown shield? Which I guess would be fine to go ahead and just slap on a Guro as well to increase his defense. And, well, I guess I could have given it to Kenzo instead. But Kenzo, you know what? No, it's fine. I don't think this is that make or break of a situation in terms of how to optimize the team. Everyone will be fine. Let's just get the heck out of here. We're going to head to the south. We've already checked all of the other... I'm pretty sure we went north to start, right? Yes, I think we did. My gosh, you guys, I've just been so lost in my own storytelling and sharing all this. And here's her brother that she had spoken of. My younger sister sent you, didn't she? Very well. Here's the key. I'll take responsibility. Go and rescue Jaren. I will. Take the Dais, or Dais, remember we looked it up, friends, key from that treasure box. Don't let the monsters take Jaren, I beg of you. Yes, sir. And Kenzo found the Dais key. Woohoo! Wonderful. I don't remember. Can we actually see... Let's see. Scenario. Okay, that is where we can see... Oh, no. I guess there's no description for key items, which I still think is weird because there are descriptions for spells, but not for items or for scenario-based items or key items. That is the weirdest decision that they could have made. But anyway, okay, well, let's get out of here. We got a couple of escapes, which I'm pretty sure takes us out of here, right? Yeah, let's warp out of here. See ya, bro. I wonder if we maybe should have taken him with us. Honestly, oh, the Sweetwater ran out. I never would have even known it was active game since we've been still getting into fights constantly. But, you know, it's okay. We're not going to worry too much about it. We're going to head back to Belgium. We need to sleep. We need to save. And then we will continue the events of the story in our upcoming episode. Actually, no. Let me sell first. Then we'll worry about sleeping and saving and all of that good stuff. We got a few things that we can get rid of. We'll focus on one thing at a time. So we got, let's take a look together, a monster ring. I don't know about some of these rings. I can't remember. We can for sure get rid of the scimitar. We've already got both of the boys equipped and optimized in terms of that. Oh, no, stay fly ring. The light armor, it's the same situation. My goodness, yo, we're gonna be so rich. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of the wood equipment. And I think that's fine. I won't worry about messing with these, although this does show me, oh, the healed shoes. Why do I have these? Am I holding on to them for a reason? I'm guessing that I am. Okay, I'm just gonna leave everything alone. I will sleep, I will save, and then I will organize my inventory because you guys know I am a nutbag and I need to alphabetize it or else I just lose my mind. I know, I have issues. There's no reason for me to need to neurotically alphabetize my inventory in every single video game I play, yet it is a necessary evil for me. I guess not really evil, but it is a necessity for me to do it. And necessary neuroticism, maybe, is what we'll call it. I know you don't have enough power to help Jaren, but what you can do is let me record my progress and we'll just, I guess, save right back over this. We didn't really do anything except go through the cave to get the Dais key. So, friends, when we come back together in our upcoming episode, you know what? I'm trying to think, before we actually worry, we're levels 15 and 16. I think we can go back to Grenoble, and I'm pretty sure we should have access to the next level of that old cave. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? If you don't, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Grenoble. I'll bring you guys back with me. I think we can pick up another mission for going through that dungeon. It's called the Old Cave, I'm pretty sure is the name of it, but don't hold me to that, you guys. My brain is unnecessarily mush for some reason. But we'll take a look at everything together when we continue the journey in episode number 27. And if for whatever reason I am misremembering, which is very, very possible, we will just come back to Belgium and continue the events by taking the Dais key and going and saving Jaren as we were actually tasked with doing. And now I'm just randomly like, you know what? I know Jaren is in the process of possibly being sacrificed, but we want to go get more money and more treasure because reasons. Even though look at our gold, it's not like we really desperately need to go back and do it, but we're gonna do it anyway. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. My name is Rabbit. This is my run through Lufia and the Fortress of Doom on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and I am so happy to have you along for the ride. So take care, be good, and I look forward to seeing you in just a moment in episode number 27.